What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 29th episode of the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society. I am Jeremy Johnson, along with Jim Range and Craig Nasello. We have a stacked show tonight. We're going to talk a lot about whiskey. Jimmy's going to make us a drink tonight. I'm kind of stoked about that. But
I like the notice I got for it.
I mean, look, I want to share the wealth and the love of knowledge.
I know, I
here.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
And-
really like the knowledge. Are you taking bourbon classes, you queer?
Wait, what? Look.
What's this
so,
bourbon class stuff you've been talking about you took?
Okay,
You
so
get your essay done yet?
you're just gonna jump on me right straight with this,
I don't-
He
okay?
didn't let it get started.
No, he didn't. He's like, "Yep, introductions. Nope, you're a dork." All right.
Dude over here with a 12-year-old mustache.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey.
it's a good-looking mustache, but
Working it out, baby. Working it out.
So-
One can dream.
yeah.
I'm only 46. I can't grow a mustache or a beard. So.
Well, and you can't take a class either. It's fine. So no. So I am. I'm working
Not smart
on my. No, it's. Believe me. So yes, I am. I'm going through the Certified Whiskey Steward program.
You gonna start drinking wine too?
Actually, at one point in time, I did sommelier classes.
That
but
says a lot.
it
You've already
does.
asked about makeup tonight too.
Hey, you got to make sure you look good on
I want to
camera.
know if DJ K-pop's gonna pick out your underwear next.
But
Wow.
Just curious.
anyway, so no, I am doing the Certified Steward classes, and yes, I do have to write a 3-page essay.
What's the topic?
Dude,
It's
I
like
I
a
like
mini
bourbon.
dissertation.
It is.
I like bourbon, but I don't like it that goddamn much.
Well, and it's all whiskey, so it's learning the concepts from start to finish, writing a bit about the history, how to deal with what barrels do, and all this other type of things. The funny thing is I knew a lot of it already. I mean, I really did. There was some of the history that I didn't know coming into it, but I have learned a lot from it, and I'm taking my test soon, so I will be a certified whiskey steward very soon.
Well
And
done,
then-
sir.
What's that gonna do for you? I'm just curious. I'm not poking fun. I'm just asking.
Oh, now you're just asking.
No,
not
I'm
poking-
just asking.
No.
Depending on the answers of when I poke fun or not.
No, what it does is it lends credence. So like whenever I do cocktail setups or I do whiskey flights for bars and things like that, they can then say that a certified whiskey steward did it, kind of
Fair
thing.
enough.
It's like having a sommelier for a wine bar on staff. So we're gonna see how that plays out. I greatly appreciate that there, Eric, that I'm looking good in makeup or not. So yeah, I appreciate that.
If you want to see him in full
know-
makeup, just watch Shamrock this weekend.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's a face full
And
too, boy, because that's.
Speaking of, Mr. Zekti's on, so
Well, yeah,
we'll give
main
a little
event
plug
of-
right now, and we'll speak about him a little bit later.
Yeah, definitely. We will talk a little bit about the Shamrock FC fight this weekend against Ariane Zekti and Austin
Someone said he's gonna
Bashi.
get beat up.
I mean, there's a lot of talk, so we're going to see how this plays out.
I'm kidding,
So-
Ariane. I'm kidding, buddy.
No, but yes, so I'm going to finish my whiskey steward. By the next show, I should actually have the whole certification and everything. Like I get a certificate that I can frame
I mean,
and
you should frame it.
Should I frame it behind us?
Behind, yeah.
put it on the set.
Put it
There
on
we
the
go.
wall.
But I'm
I'll
looking.
just scratch out the name and write my name.
Photoshop it in.
That's
There
right.
you go. There you go. So yeah, I will. We'll just lend a little credence that I did it. So
What-
I got to bust
The
your
funny
balls.
thing is, though, we didn't tell them that we're already going through it. We're going to be certified
Right.
before.
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
We've already
I've
started
taken
on
my
the
test.
paper.
I've already taken my test.
So you wrote your 3-page essay?
No,
Well,
I just
I
took
wrote
the
it
test.
for him.
You wrote it for me.
Okay, fair. All
I
right,
can
that
barely
works.
spell, let alone write something like that. Come
All
on
right,
now.
fair. No, but we have a great show tonight. We also have an amazing cocktail that Mr. Jim Range here is going to dump out
Should
for
we
us.
go ahead and start on it now?
I think we should. I mean, we've already jumped the gun on the show here. Craig's already
Yeah,
busted me up a
so-
lot, so.
We're going to make, I always butcher the name, but Boulevardier.
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 Kind of the
It's
a distant cousin
take
of
on
a, yeah, it's a distant cousin of a Negroni.
Yep. So,
Jabroni?
it's
Not a Jabroni, a
Negroni.
Negroni.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you start out with 1.25 ounces of bourbon.
I mean, I did watch wrestling this weekend, so I mean, you know.
So you lost a few
And you whined
IQ
about
points.
it.
Yes, I did.
Then we're going to go with a Campari. 1 ounce of that. And I'm waiting for the questions to come in with what's Campari.
Well, I was actually going to ask you, Jim, what is Campari?
It's a type of wine.
It's a fortified wine.
And then we're going to go with 1 ounce of
See, a
sweet
certified
vermouth.
whiskey steward would know that.
Ask me
And then-
how much I care.
It's fair.
And then we're going to stir it. because no citrus,
No.
so we stir.
Right.
Just a little reminder.
If you don't shake your citrus cocktails, ladies and gentlemen, you're doing them wrong.
You get a nice little red tint in it, which is from the Campari.
It's a pretty drink.
We strain it, then we crack open our orange peel and just rim it and hand it off.
Well, thank you.
And here you go.
No, so you get a lot of the citrus on the nose of it. The Campari, though, is what I think makes this.
It stands out. You don't get a bourbon taste on it, in my mind.
No, because what you're getting with that is you're going to get something that accentuates the orange. So it pulls out that orange oil, because that's really what taking the rind will do. Is that once you squeeze it, you get the oil out of it. That's what rims it, gives it nice on the nose. It doesn't do a whole lot of taste. But whenever you bring in that Campari, it will then in turn just bust that up even more. And then you throw the sweet component of your vermouth. Works out great. Great job, Jim.
What's great with this drink, I think, is it's after dinner.
Is the fact that Craig can't drink tonight?
Well, that's every night anymore. It's great.
3 shows in a row.
It saddens me.
It does.
I miss Craig drinking so much.
Oh, here's my Pepsi.
I mean, the thing is, though, is everybody misses Craig drinking.
He's not the same Craig. He tries to be, but he's not quite.
But he's got that mustache now. Continue, please.
I know. Well, you know, honestly, I think, is that a tribute to Ariane?
Oh my God, yeah.
It's an attempt.
Porn stash.
Yeah. But no, it's a great after dinner drink. It's
Yep.
an evening drink. It's just, it's not overpowering. It's refreshing almost.
Completely. Works very well in fall time. I mean, it's almost an autumn type of drink. So,
But it's spring.
It fits for spring too.
Okay, just making sure.
You know, if you could drink, you could taste it.
yeah, if you could. But I do
And-
give him credit, though, because tonight he did taste the sip, sink, and
Yes.
saves. Which, by God, this is going to be an interesting one. I'm a little nervous, not going to lie.
I know, and I was a little bit mean to Craig tonight because this is a drink you can make with rye as well if you like that little bit of spice to it, which it really does change the flavor profile of it. But Craig doesn't like rye, so I made it with Weller Antique instead, just to rub it into Craig did. It's
I've got a
bourbon.
bottle of that at home, homie.
He does,
I know.
but he won't drink it.
No.
I haven't opened it yet.
Yeah. He stole it out of my
Saving it.
car. I'm
I'm
not
saving
gonna
it. I'm saving it. Yeah, I did.
lie. He did, for real.
I was like, this is mine. Thanks.
Well,
See
the
ya.
bad part is we had to crack this one open because we killed another beforehand.
Yeah, we did. So,
So we've really been mean to Craig tonight.
but it happens. So, all right, but
I'm
that
used
is
to it.
our cocktail for tonight. Boulevardier, check it out. We're gonna throw the recipe out on Twitter, so go check it out on our Twitter at MMA Bourbon. Okay, tonight though, our sip, sink, and save was suggested by producer Matt, and
Who ran across this gem?
and gem is a
Where-
good word.
Where did you find that at, Matt?
Oh,
Fresh Time?
fresh time. Okay, all right.
It's not very fresh.
And it's interesting because we've got a different really cinnamon one upstairs too that we had picked up before.
Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of. I did a lot of
forget
brand
the name of it.
research whenever.
Which one?
I forget the name of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that fire.
It's the one that's got banana face with it.
Yeah, the
Fire crotch.
yeah,
Fire
right,
crotch.
Yeah, fire crotch. That's it.
Who found that
But
for us?
Lisa DeNoyer, one of Stacy's best
Yeah.
friends, did.
Oh
I remember,
yes.
we haven't got to try any of those yet. We gotta break into those.
Banana face, which is supposed to be banana flavored. When you open the bottle, I didn't even want to try to taste it. And then fire crotch, and I forget the third one.
Yeah. So, but tonight we are gonna do
wasn't
the
Butterface, that's it.
butterface. Oh my God.
Butterscotch.
Yeah.
That's
so,
right.
So tonight though we are gonna do the battle of the cinnamon whiskeys, and I hate to say this because my whiskey's front and center in this, and if it goes in the sink, I'm gonna cry. But you know, it is what it is. So I think though that we have all tasted these tonight. There is a lot. Oh, you're gonna sink me, aren't you? I knew you were. I knew it. So we are gonna do though the one that Matt found in
Fresh time.
yeah. What is it
It's
called?
Cardinal Sin.
Cardinal Sin, and they call it Wrath.
Wrath.
And it is cinnamon and chili peppers.
And it literally
And
has
there's
cinnamon
literally
and chili peppers in
A
it.
cinnamon stick in it and a chili pepper floating around.
St. Louis-based distillery. We are, like I said, we're home based here in St. Louis.
First edition at that.
Yeah, so first shot at it. It's interesting. I will definitely give them that.
Well, the tagline I love, and I call absolute bullshit on it, is enjoy your sin responsibly. If I'm sinning, there's nothing responsible about it.
I
I
can't
enjoy it, but I'm not going to.
Exactly.
You know.
I can't believe they got away with that with making the label because I said pack a punch responsibly and they told me no. Like the feds told me no.
Interesting.
Yeah. Darn it. I guess we should have done it anyway. But, and then we will be taking on, of course, my Uppercut Cinnamon Walnut Whiskey and the standard to judge that everyone knows and everyone compares every other cinnamon whiskey to, and that is Fireball, which is, Jimmy, do you know what actually Fireball is based on?
No, I do not. But I know it comes out of Sazerac.
It comes out of
scares the hell out of
Sazerac,
me.
but it is a Canadian whiskey. It is a Canadian whiskey product, but Sazerac bought them, and that's where it all came
Canadians
from.
also eat ketchup potato chips, so.
Ketchup potato chips are delicious.
Oof.
Okay, maybe not. But
I'm with you on that one.
you are with me on that one? Okay, good. So, all right. Are we ready, gentlemen? Craig Nasello.
Well, I always got to go first.
All right,
I'll go
Jim
first.
Range.
I'll go first.
Sip, sink, and save.
So, as much as it pains to say,
Oh, boy.
only because it's the lesser of the evils, I'm sipping my sin.
Interesting. Okay.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, Fireball's just going right down the drain.
Very fair.
And I've got so much that I can do that we've already shown with the local bars and that in St. Louis recipes. We've done them in-house that you can do with Uppercut. I'm saving that just because I've got so much more I can do.
Brown noser. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
God, I feel like I kissed the teacher's ass.
Wow. Oh, my
But no,
goodness.
So, no, I mean, honestly, when you compare to Fireball and the Wrath, Wrath has got a little more heat, but it doesn't have that. Ugh.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know
understand.
how else to describe it because neither one's got a good flavor profile, but it's a lesser of two evils in my mind.
Fair. All right. So, Jim Range, you are going to.
I'm sipping Wrath.
All right.
Fireball's going down the drain. I'm going to save.
Save the uppercut.
The uppercut.
All right.
All right, Craig, you're
Craig.
number 2.
What would you be doing here, my friend?
So I'm going opposite. I'm going to sip the Fireball because
Uh-oh.
at least it's
All right.
tolerable.
So, okay, so when you say tolerable, let me know what you mean.
The Wrath is just not good.
Pardon me
It
while I
just-
have a little
it's
land
not-
straight from the barrel here.
It's just not very good. It's like those two flavors just really don't mix.
It's
well.
See,
It's-
but
it's
I like
off.
chili
weird.
peppers, so
Yeah. Well, it's really weird. Just the whole. It tastes like Red Hots. Red
Exactly.
Hot candy.
Yeah, like
But then it's got a bitter taste to it also. You know what I'm saying? Like you had a Red Hot and some fucking tree bark or something at the same time. Like, not that I've ever had tree bark, but it tastes like that.
I don't even know how to respond
right.
to that one.
All
Oh my
right.
God.
And then I'm gonna, I guess, sip the uppercut as much as, or save the uppercut. Probably because I won't drink it. Whatever. I'll save it for later.
oh God
No,
bless it.
I'll save it because, well, I mean, we do have a lot of mixed drinks that we've tried with it, and, and it's really good with the mixed drink. Me personally,
I was gonna say you pull the walnut more than anything.
yeah, and that's the problem with me is I don't like walnuts
Yeah.
at all. So that's my issue.
Well, that and you got really drunk on the banana
Right.
version of in the very beginning
Right.
of
And the banana was like, I'm still pushing for that to be made.
yeah.
But
One day we'll make it.
for me, the uppercut has just got a lot of walnut finish to it, and I don't like that. But if you put it in a mixed drink or mix it, I don't have that. I don't have that flavor profile no more.
Right.
So I get the cinnamon more, excuse me, than I do the walnut at the end. So I do like it when it's in a mixed drink.
Yeah.
All right.
And in like hot damn, or not hot damn, it might as well be hot damn.
Yeah, absolutely,
Wasn't that
yeah.
like
Should
the
be.
drink when we were
Back when we
growing
were
up?
kids, yeah.
The Fireball, I mean, it's not the greatest, but it tastes better than that shit.
Fair. All right.
I mean, to kill, yeah. So my sip's gonna be the Fireball, my save's gonna be the uppercut, and my sink is gonna be the Wrath.
Okay.
You know, it's funny we're talking about the different drinks we make with Uppercut. I thought about for the drink of the night being the White Russian.
Oh,
cut
that was,
instead.
yeah, that was really good out at Tompkins Riverside in
Yeah.
St. Charles, Missouri. They made one with it. All right, so mine. Let's see. Let's be honest.
If you don't save yours, I'm gonna smack you.
Actually, no, I would sip mine every day because I want you all to go buy as many bottles as you can. Available all around Missouri now, from the Boot Heel up to Kansas City. So yeah, go check it
Get
out.
that plug in.
Absolutely. Hey, we're in Hy-Vee stores now. Do you know how crazy that sounds? So
You know, that's one of the best stores to find Blanton's when you head down to the
absolutely,
Ozarks.
absolutely it is. So no, all right. So in all realism, no. Fireball to me is not whiskey. Number one, it's 66 proof, I think, is what it is. It is far more syrupy and sweet. There is actually, whenever they make the liqueur that makes Fireball happen, it is done through basically high fructose corn syrup and a cinnamon extract. That's the process that makes it work. They say it's natural cinnamon flavor. Of course it is. I mean, anything natural could be anything, but it is still a syrupy, sweet shot. If you're shooting it on the golf course with your buddies, I get it. It works. But to me, it is not whiskey. At 66 proof, it doesn't even meet to be called whiskey anymore.
Right.
So it's basically a whiskey liqueur. The Cardinal Sin threw me off. I actually opened the bottle in the parking lot when I bought it because I was so interested in trying, for real. Like the idea of it was crazy because also it's 80 proof. So it does have some real distillate behind it.
Maybe it's good if you've been drinking something else for a while and got a buzz on it.
I actually kind of want to play with it in something with brown sugar and orange juice. I know that sounds like a weird combo, but I think it would work. The thing that I did not like about it is I don't like spicy. And to me, I got so much red hots, like you were talking about, that it burned in the back. And I don't like that. And it wasn't like a whiskey burn.
Right.
It was more of like eating Mexican food burn to me.
Really?
But yeah, but I don't do spicy at all. So,
Oh, yeah, see, I'm good with spice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am too, which is why the chili pepper didn't bother me.
yeah. But I could really, really pick the chili pepper out of it. So I don't think it's a bad drink. I think it's actually pretty good, but it's a little too hot for me. I would probably pare it down with something that would cool that off. With that, of course, like I said, I'm going to sip Uppercut because I want everybody to buy it. I would definitely save the Cardinal Sin because I think that I could make enough cool stuff out of it that the chili, to tell somebody you made them a chili pepper cinnamon cocktail is pretty cool. And then Fireball isn't even in the ballpark because it's not real whiskey to me. So that is mine. I am going to sip Uppercut. I am going to save Cardinal Sin. And I am going to dump Fireball down the drain where all those damn college kids should be with it. So let us know what you guys think in the comments here on Facebook or on our Instagram page at MMA Bourbon Society. Let us know what you think of these three. So
Mr. Whiskey Connoisseur, class taker. There's a question from Ariane. Is 66% not whiskey? I thought whiskey was just aged in barrels, and that's what made it whiskey.
No.
So let's show what you learned.
Okay.
Write your paper right here.
Yeah,
okay?
write my paper right here. So whiskey itself has to be a minimum of 80 proof, and it has to be a maximum of 125 proof when it goes in the barrel. So what they did is they basically took their, no, that's for real.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah, they took their distillate and they made it to probably about 100 proof is probably where Fireball really starts with the Canadian whiskey. And then they add everything to it. So Canadian whiskey doesn't have any regulations against flavoring. They have no, that's why Crown Royal now makes peach, now makes that, and they can call it Canadian whiskey. Whereas a bourbon, you cannot have any additives. The only thing that it can be is grains and water.
What about Jack Daniels? Is that a bourbon?
Jack Daniels is not a bourbon.
Well, that's because they
they don't-
as not, is what it actually said in your class. They choose not to identify as a bourbon.
And it went through the federal government, and they said no. So I hope that answers your question there, Ariane. No, but aged in barrels is actually more towards bourbon. And it doesn't matter how long you're aged in a barrel. So, yeah. It really, though, it's been it's not a good product. So screw basically.
All right,
Yeah.
let's move
Okay,
on.
so
Screw Fireball. No, let's move on. But again, Sip, Sink, and Save is all brought to you by Brad Carey at Unrivaled Realty. So go check them out for all of your buying and selling needs. The housing market is hot right now, and Brad Carey at Unrivaled Realty can help you out today. Get with him, check him out. Brad Carey Realty, a great member of the MMA Society and a big supporter of the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society. Good guy, too. All right, now, Jim, Craig, we have spent a lot of time at Castle and Key Distillery over the years here in Frankfort, Kentucky.
The original E.H. Taylor
The
distillery.
the original.
The first distillery that was built to be
A tourist
a
attraction.
tourist attraction.
Like all the way back.
Colonel Taylor built it for the purpose that people could come visit. The grounds are incredible. You get down there, it's a must-see.
Absolutely beautiful place. The other very cool thing about them is that they didn't have just whiskeys. You know, we had some great gins, we had some good vodka drinks while we were there. And literally, like, we walked the grounds in Carriad.
was there whiskey even available at the time? Or
No,
bourbon?
There was a rye at the
oh,
time.
No,
there
it
was
wasn't.
rye.
We did
No,
not
there
have the rye.
wasn't.
The first time we went, there was no
The
rye.
first time, okay.
And that's the whole purpose. What I love about them is instead of forcing something out or sourcing it,
'Cause the
which
second
that's a
time-
topic
So,
in
I
its
think the
own.
second or third time you guys went down, you went down without me.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
but they put out vodka and gin because you don't have that 2, 4, 6.
However
year-
long you want to wait,
However
yeah.
you want to make it wait till you get it to the profile you want. They were putting other products out, which let them be up and running, and you go visit, tour, and have them. And the drinks they make with them are incredible.
So now, you made an interesting mention here, and we'll get into why this Castle and Key is so cool, but they didn't source. What does that mean in the whiskey world?
So you've got MGP's the biggest sourcer. Uppercut sources.
Yeah, we
Nothing
do.
against them, but I mean, and when you source,
I mean, I made it in my kitchen to start. That I can't make enough in my
But
kitchen
you-
for what we put out.
But
so.
you came up with the mash bill. You
Right.
identified the mash bill you wanted, which is where you get the sourcing. What mash bill do I want? How long do I want it aged? Now let's get that right flavor profile from it on what I want with my mash bill on top of it. So I got my mash bill. I got what char. I said mash bill already, but the char. What do I want? There are distilleries out there. MGP, for example, which bought Luxrow this year, or Luxrow bought them.
No, they bought
They bought
Luxrow.
Luxrow, that's right. And you can go to them and say, I want you to source whiskey for me.
Yeah,
This
so
is what I want. So they distill it, they follow the mash bill you want.
They age it
go
for
to
you.
char, they age it, and then they sell it to you. That's all they do. They don't have their own product they put out. They've got products they create and put out, but they source it.
So what Castle and Key did is they decided, nope, we're going to use ours. We're going to do it in the original sense, and we're going to age it in the same place that Colonel Taylor started his. And from what I understand, because I have not been able to get my damn hands on a bottle, it's amazing. I've heard mixed reviews
I've heard mixed reviews.
Well, so I heard mixed reviews for about the first 500 bottles, and then I hear that for some reason it changed. I don't know
Well,
that
I
to
think
be
it's
true.
also the people that are going
Well-
after it. I've got some people that if they say something about a bottle, I'll take it at 90%.
Right.
And I might go ahead and try it if it's something I really want. I've got others that, you know what?
There are some you take with a grain of salt, and there are some you trust their
Yep.
their palate. You know, I mean, if they went through certified whiskey stewarding classes, you could listen to them. So, but
I don't think that means squat either, but that's okay.
no, it really doesn't. But I'm real interested to try it because I loved their other products. They made a gin that was just flat amazing. And I think we kind of all got crocked that day walking around. I mean, it was something.
I don't
so.
drink gin. So
No, you didn't, but you had the vodka one.
Yeah,
so
I
yeah.
don't drink gin. I hate that. I
But
can't stand gin.
I'm really hyped to have it. And I think that, number one, they do have some at the distillery now that I have found out.
I've heard that too. They're releasing like 100 bottles a day.
Yeah, they do 100 bottles a day, limit 2 bottles per person, which isn't bad.
One.
Oh, it went to 1? Because I know that the day that they released, they were giving, you could buy cases. And people were literally walking out with cases, and they went, oh man, everybody's walking out with cases. Well, then it went to 6. Well, then it went to 2. And then it went to 1, and then it went, well, we're sold out. So yeah.
When
It's
they
going,
sold,
it's going for what, quadruple?
Oh my God, it's going
secondary
it's
now?
a $50
Crazy.
bottle, I think, and it's going anywhere from, I've seen it from $1.40 to $1.80, so it's triple.
Yeah, but I
essentially.
mean triple, quadruple, like you said. So yeah, that is an insane
And why haven't we got our hands on a bottle yet?
I haven't even seen it in that world that allows people in the end to get the secondary bottles.
I don't know how.
I mean, yeah, we don't really play in the secondary world at all. So, but anyway, if you have a bottle of Castle and Key, let us know what you think about it on Twitter at MMA Bourbon. But I think we need to take a rundown and just go see if we can get one. Arrive early. Everybody loves a good trip to Louisville.
Head down on a Tuesday or Thursday.
Even the peanut gallery of DJ K-Pop and producer Mike over there and producer Matt, they're all like, yep, let's go get one. So
DJ K-Pop actually put Castle and Keys my happy place. We've known that for a while.
Oh, complete. Well, you actually told your wife, you sent her a message half crocked and goes, we're changing where we're having our wedding.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
She didn't approve it.
No,
but,
she didn't.
Yeah.
So the next big one that I really want to talk about in the world of whiskey this week is something that I was kind of shocked when I read in the Whiskey Rag magazines and things this week, is that...
You learned that in the class?
I did learn that in the class. There is an upcoming shortage that they're actually seeing already of barrels.
There's a shortage of everything. There's a shortage of toilet paper.
Fair.
I'm just saying, yeah.
But
I get it.
the idea that they
cut
can...
enough trees down or what?
It's steel.
Oh, yeah.
It's the steel foundries that they're having the issues of all of that. And every major distillery apparently saw this coming. So they're buying 2 and 3 times the amount of barrels per year so that they have them just in case.
But your larger ones are.
Well,
your smaller ones can't afford to.
No, I'm talking Sazerac, Old Forester, MGP. Those type of people are buying barrels in exorbitant amounts. And it's running the little guys to the point that they're having hard times. What used to take you 2 weeks to get a barrel is now taking you 5 months.
Wow.
It's about everything else, too.
So, but what does that do? What do you guys think? What does that do to the smaller craft distiller? What does it do to Glens Creek?
They're going to go away. I don't know if they'll go away, but it's going to slow down their production immensely.
I think what's going to happen is some of them, instead of forcing some product out now, are going to roll a little bit of a dice and say, can I take what was a 4-year? Because Glens Creek has some 4-year.
Absolutely, yep.
OCD number 5 is a 4-year, I think.
Yes, and it is one of the best bourbons I've ever
That's
had.
one, if you're down there, I don't care who I hear it from.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because the locals call them bootleggers.
It's
because they literally took over the Old Crow distillery, and you go in and when you do a tour, you look at their stills, and oh my God, they're pieced together. It looks like they're old pot stills, Matt.
One of their stills in the original days, whenever I went, was made out of a beer keg.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean, it was amazing. And their product. I mean, how long, Craig, did we sit at their bar when they found out that we were whiskey guys on radio? They were like, holy hell.
3 or 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Yeah. But
8 ounces later, we were all ready to leave and couldn't figure out where the door was. But
I think what may happen is they will still, because OCD number 5 is their big seller and everybody loves it, they're not going to mess with that. I think what they may do is take that OCD, leave that one, but take some of the others. Let's age them a little longer. Because you know what, if we can't get more barrels, let's play around. I think they might try to get a little bit more creative. Well, you can't reuse a barrel.
So that's my next question. So the world of bourbon says that you only get to use a new vessel. You actually don't have to have it in a barrel. That was also learned in the class, Craig. But it has to be new, it has to be charred, and it has to be oak.
How do you char a vessel?
Well, that's just it. Do you char you char a bucket? But what I'm saying is do we get to the point that they relinquish that and they now make it to where you can use a barrel more than once? So a barrel lasts about 4 times in the world of Scotch. They can use them about 4 times before it takes all the tannins, all the wood sugars out. Do we see that happen in whiskey? Because American whiskey, they could in theory do it. They can't call it bourbon, but they can call it American whiskey.
I don't see it happening.
I don't either.
Okay.
And
I just don't see it happening. I think by the time we get to that point, I think our supply chain will be back to semi-normal, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, I think we got a few years before we're at that point where we need to start really. They need to start really worrying if they need to reuse barrels or not.
So my hope,
Especially if they're buying as many as you're saying.
Well,
if steel's the issue for it, hell, let's reinvigorate our U.S. steel.
completely.
My little brother works for Alton Steel. I mean,
No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You got U.S.
he's
Steel,
an
you got all
He's an
them,
outside salesman for Alton Steel, so.
but let's reinvigorate U.S. product for it. And now we're getting political and off
Yeah,
topic,
and let's
but-
not go political because that really
But
goes
no,
bad.
but I mean, there are solutions that could solve it.
And I don't think that we need to change the idea of the how and the why that made bourbon bourbon. Because bourbon is one of those that it is a uniquely American spirit. And actually, maybe next show I'll even go into why bourbon is American only, because it's a very interesting story that involves a woman who screwed things over.
You learned that in class too?
No, actually, I knew this one before the class. Which, yeah, but
And I can't believe Craig didn't bite on that and make some comment.
because DJ K-pop over there looked at him like, let's hear it, Craig.
Well, she looked
So-
at one of us.
Yeah. But now, so it'd be an interesting one, and we'll go into, like I said, we'll go into the history maybe next show of the whys of bourbon is the way it is. So, all right, but Jim, there are a boatload. Oh, you got a little Blanton straight from the barrel there. I mean,
Yeah, you broke
look
it
at poor
out, so-
Craig over there, just looking like, yep, you guys suck.
Yep.
126 proof there, I think, is that?
I think this one's 9.
129 proof?
129.
Yeah, love it. There are a lot of cool new releases coming, though. Jim,
Oh.
talk us through them.
I mean, April and May, just the ones that jump out at me. There's several others too. So we're Four-Gate fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Each release is different. What's interesting with Four-Gate, talk about sourcing, they collaborate with different distilleries. And they will bring in, for example, they got released 19 and 20 both coming out this year, or this month. 19, which is their Kelvin Collaboration 4. So they've had 3 other releases of it. And for those of you that try to collect your bottles and save them, Four-Gate to me is one that if you want a dusty, because they are so limited and they're so popular,
Yeah, big time, big time.
but it's made from Kentucky bourbon, Indiana bourbon, and what's interesting to me, because they're whiskeys, they're not bourbons, because they're a blend, they bring in an Indiana rye also. So they got an 8-year, a 6-year, and an 8-year rye. I think that's right. And it's coming out at 111 proof.
Wow, okay, all
I mean,
right.
and every Four-Gate I've sampled has
Yeah.
been incredible. We've got a bottle that we've had and talked about on the show that's really good. Their batch 20 is an 8-year bourbon. I think it's out of Indiana. Finished, and then they finish them in other casks. This one's finished in dark rum casks,
Okay.
which should give you
So,
a very interesting
a
profile. with it.
lot of sugar.
yeah.
A lot of sugar coming.
So just one, because they're Four-Gate, I'm stoked about them.
Yeah.
but
And I don't know if this one's on your list, but I did see one that I am real interested to talk about or come to see what it does when it comes out. And that's Blood Oath Pact 8.
it's on my list.
Is it? Okay. All right. Continue then, please.
I mean, that's just, it's a blended high. I think there's another one that's blended. It's out of Lux Row. Coming in at 98 proof.
Yeah, they're big into the orphaned barrels.
Yes.
They buy a boatload from different places, bring
it's
it in
blended.
different, and then they blend it all together.
And it's a high rye. And I think
So
this
Craig's
one-
gonna hate it, is what you're saying.
Right, Craig will not like it at all.
Nope.
Now, the other thing we hit on already, Castle and Key Batch 1. Next month, Batch 2 comes out in May.
Oh, then we
So we've
really
gotta
need to go
close-
down and get a batch 1.
Yeah, we
We
pick up
really
one
need to
while
go
we
down and get a
can.
batch 1.
Yes. Everybody knows, we've talked about Smoke Wagon before, uncut, unfiltered.
All the Smoke Wagon products, though, are awesome.
Yeah.
They really
But that
are.
uncut, unfiltered, oh my God, it's incredible. Straight, it's essentially a straight from the barrel. They do nothing else with it but bottle it. They've got a uncut the younger coming out. I don't know what that means. I couldn't find it on the website, but that's what it's called on the release.
So, do you think it's?
I think it might be aged a little bit less than normal.
I was gonna say, do you think it's a take on the light whiskeys that everybody is throwing these ways now? You know, the Penelope's got a light whiskey.
Yeah.
There's a few out there, and
Is that like smoking light cigarettes?
it could be actually.
be.
Yeah. I mean,
Really.
the idea of it, yeah, it's you're making distillate, you're aging it in a barrel. It is what it is. but there is a bit of lighter flavoring to it, from what I understand. I had the Penelope Light. I know that's their big allocated bottle.
We're going to do, next show, we're actually doing a Penelope Sip, Sink, and Save on 3 different variations of that.
Well, if that's
when Craig found this, that threw our thing out.
Yeah, no, actually, that was producer
me.
Matt who found
Oh,
that
Matt,
one.
I
But
meant.
yeah, no, I love the idea.
Don't blame that nasty shit on me.
I love the idea though of the Penelope one. And as a matter of fact, I think that my distributor, Smart Distributor, may sponsor us with that one. Okay. So yeah, that'd be a good one.
So the last one I want to speak to, and this one just gets me all freaking excited.
Oh, how
everybody
excited,
knows.
Jim? How excited, Jim?
Everybody knows I'm a barrel proof person. I love high proof.
Oh, completely.
And on top of it, I love Rise.
Okay. Craig's nose is in the air. Let's see what it comes out to be.
E.H. Taylor has a barrel proof rye coming out.
Oh my. So what do you think that's going to go for on the secondary, Craig? Because I mean, I have heard rumors of this secondary market that people talk about, that the barrel proofs were selling for almost $600 a bottle. I don't know anything about that.
The first release of this, I think it's just going to be, I don't care who I got to pay. I'm asking now, find me the damn bottle.
All right, so if you are watching now and can find an E.H. Taylor barrel proof rye, let us know in the DMs of any of our socials, including our TikTok at MMA Bourbon. So a lot of cool stuff coming
I mean,
up.
those are the things coming out this month. And we talked about we're going to start doing it on the show, but I think the next month and a half is a good time to do it.
I agree.
Do what?
Did you just make
Do
a face
what?
to our TikTok?
Oh God, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, you don't want to know that you are the biggest one on our TikTok.
Care.
So just saying, it's all about you on our TikTok.
I'm not a 12-year-old.
Fair. But, all right, moving on to the world of mixed martial arts. I have a question for you guys. And I find this one to be pretty valid at the moment. Is there too many damn UFC cards?
Yes.
We've said it for we're on show 29. That probably came up on show 14, 15, 13, somewhere in there. The first time we
I'm
talked about
lost on what show is up next. Like I know there's one. Is there a pay-per-view? There's a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view this weekend.
I am to the point that since they jacked up the prices of the pay-per-view,
I haven't
number
watched
one.
one for how
again,
long?
I don't there isn't a Matt Hughes. There isn't a George St. Pierre. There isn't a Chuck Liddell.
I just don't think. Well, see, that's the thing is, I don't think they jumped the shark. It's they have contracts with fighters that they have to fulfill, so they have to have fights.
Well, I get that.
But they're signing everybody.
But here's the other thing is, do I think there's too much? Sometimes, but it's their business. I mean, they're still making money hand over fist, so why not? You know, it's not like a sports season like football, 17 or 18 weeks or whatever it is. You know, baseball's opening day was today. You know, so it's
47 shows in 2020 they put on. I think Bellator was 21 that year. I might be off on the Bellator, but I'm 47. And they made roughly $900 million in 2020.
Sweet Lord of God, I wish I would have got on that stock.
But I can't say yes, I can't say no. I mean,
the biggest...
Is it a lot? Yes. Is there a lot of people that you've never heard of? Yes. But you notice that those people that you really never heard of yet, they're not on the big pay-per-views. If they are, they're on the undercard.
Okay.
And they've done well on like ESPN Plus. You know what I'm saying?
Fair. Okay.
But half the shows plus are pay-per-view now.
Well, and here's the thing.
It really seems like it.
I can solve this right now. Who's fighting this weekend in the UFC?
Kay Hansen, that's the only person I know.
Okay. Jim, who's fighting this weekend in the UFC?
Volkanovski and Korean.
Oh, that's right. That's who that fight is.
It's for the championship. It's the only fight I know in the card that I recall off the top of my head.
Yeah, Volkanovski and
I know that Rocky Pennington is fighting. That's what I knew.
She's fighting Aspen Ladd, right?
Yeah. And she was one of my parlay bets. But it's what I'm getting at, though, is that we don't know the names anymore. You know, this Paddy Pipkin guy is apparently the next big thing that, okay, cool, he fought on a couple of cards, he's a good, UK guy, whatever.
But he still only makes $9,000 a fight.
Exactly. Completely. It's not what it used to be.
That's a topic we're going to go into.
Brad Carey brings up a good point. There's 152 games in a baseball season.
and not even over a year, and 52 shows
Well,
is
actually,
too
there's
many.
162 games, but we won't get into that.
But I'm not even saying that 52 shows is too many. I'm saying that we don't have the star power built that we did in the days
Yeah, but they
that
didn't
made
have.
George.
But they only had like 12 shows a year back then.
Okay,
I mean,
that's
honestly,
a valid. No, that's a valid
you're
point.
valid with it.
Absolutely,
they
you're valid
were
there.
still an up and coming. They're still up and coming and still building their brand. And now that their brand is blown up like it has,
Well,
and the money that they're making, they'd be stupid not to put on as many shows.
But here's the thing
mean-
that you've done. You just nailed it right there. They built the brand. They're not building the fighters.
exactly.
We've gone back and forth and talked about boxing versus
Completely.
MMA. UFC brings in a lot more money than PBC does, boxing. But the number of fights and the pay that goes out on the boxing is much higher, and you've got a bigger name that's going to stand up that you're going to recognize.
Very fair. Very fair.
But UFC is focused on the brand and the value with the brand,
Well,
which I give them credit. It's
and-
great marketing. It's a brilliant idea. But the fighters don't get the recognition from it anymore because you don't have
But everybody,
this who are promoting it.
every fighter wants to go to the UFC.
Well, but then okay, so then that takes us to Bellator, and Bellator has Bellator 277 is coming up, and we're talking AJ McKee versus Pitbull. Now,
And Nemkov versus Corey Anderson.
but what I'm saying is that okay, they may not be as much of a household name as far as if you ask the average person, okay, who is Israel Adesanya? They're going to know the last style bender versus are they going to know Patricio Pitbull? But the fights, is the quality better when we move over to Bellator because those guys are still trying to make a name for themselves?
I say yes, but I'm biased.
Well, I understand.
I mean,
Well, but I'm asking that question and very legit.
But
I mean,
but then-
you work for
but
Bellator
here's the
every
thing.
week,
You can,
so
you,
I
you
mean,
can, you can throw this in the air and say that the same guys are doing, the guys in the UFC are doing the same thing. Look at Chandler that left Bellator and went to the UFC. Look at Eddie
And what had
Alvarez
happened to
that
Chandler?
left and went to the UFC.
But Chandler was later in his career. I would love to see, and I brought it up before, and UFC will never do it. Bellator is probably a little more apt to do it, I would
what
think.
would we do? I already know what you're talking about.
Unified belt.
We do it with we've done shows with
oh,
Ryzen.
with Ryzen,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. That was the
Exactly.
Fedor
I
that
would
brought
love to-
Fedor over. So
I'd love to see a unification fight. I'd love to see Pitbull.
it'd be an interesting fight. The one, though, that I am really looking forward to, though, coming up in Bellator is Johnny Eblen. Johnny Eblen versus Gegard Mousasi is going to be a barn burner of a fight.
I hope so. God, I hope so. 'Cause
Johnny is an amazing
Johnny's
guy.
my guy.
Do you get
I mean,
to work it?
Do I what?
Do you get to work that one?
I'll wrap Johnny's hands most likely, but I don't know if I'll work that event or that fight itself.
Right.
But I mean, you'll at least be there to.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, I'm
no,
just
I'll
making
be there.
sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll be
I
there.
know
'cause
you and Johnny are close in that, and you've got to know him through Shamrock and everything.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with Johnny for, I
Right.
mean, from the beginning of his career. I've called, his beginning fights, and
I've wrapped his
now,
hands.
yeah, and now he's moved up.
But so we got a couple fights in between there though. We got 2 shows in Hawaii coming up too. Cyborg and Arlene Blanco too. And we got Juliana Vasquez fighting. Good Lord, what's her name now? Liz Carmouche. We get Liz. She come over from Bellator.
yeah,
Or come over from UFC
Yeah.
to Bellator.
very first,
She's
the other one in the very first women's bantamweight title fight.
right. Yeah. So I mean, it's.
Yeah, it's out there,
If,
but
if you hear people talk, I mean, a lot of guys come over from UFC, love Bellator. Some of them not. I mean,
Well,
it's just how it is.
I remember
Not
sitting-
everybody's gonna. You're not gonna make everybody happy.
No,
Don't care
I
what you
remember
do.
sitting talking to Matt Mitrione one time, and Matt looked at me and goes, I am so happy and the grass is way greener over here. He was a great guy. The other one that big is, of course, we are based in St. Louis. Lucas Clay making the jump to LFA here. Is this his title, or is this his move? If he wins this fight coming up with LFA, is it his move to like the Contender Series
I think he
or a
gets
shot to the
I
UFC?
think I think he gets a shot at the Contender Series
Really?
possibly if he wins this fight. That's my personal opinion. I hope he wins this fight. I know he's fighting a tough kid in McKenzie.
Yeah.
Other than
It's a
that,
tough fight for him, but I think that
Lucas has got the skill set.
and he
He's-
is one of
tough.
the top prospects
Yeah.
out of the Midwest.
tough kid.
Absolutely, especially coming from that camp at St. Charles MMA. Those guys are killers out there. So, The other big one, of course, in the chat at the moment, Arion Zekti taking on Austin Bashi for the Shamrock Fighting Championships title.
I just got busted by Argon's
Well,
balls.
yeah, because he's out there. But
Right.
no, I think that this is a really interesting fight as a main event. I think that, so Austin Bashi coming in has never fought in Shamrock FC and he's got a title fight. That's what everybody talked about.
Right.
But Austin Bashi came from the XFC, which actually you and I used to work for before they folded. And it
They
was
officially folded now?
from what I understand, they officially.
Okay, I didn't know
I don't know if
for
it's
sure.
true or not,
Right.
but I think that that's the
Producer
bigger one.
Mike
But didn't
did
they go
too.
away
He's
for a
over
while?
Oh yeah, producer Mike actually worked a little bit for
But
XFC, and so did DJ K-pop
But
at
didn't
one
they go
point.
away and then come back?
They
at
went
one
away.
point?
They did Brazil for a while,
Okay.
and then they came back to the U.S.
Just
and
never know.
But
Anyway.
Austin Bashi spent his entire career in that organization. Arion spent his entire career, professional career, in Shamrock Fighting Championships. Austin is a 5-0 guy coming into this with a ton of Muay Thai fights, a ton of grappling, and I mean, you've seen it. He is an absolute beast on the ground.
The kid can wrestle, yeah. I'm not going to take anything away from his wrestling. His striking, I have not seen any of. I don't think I've seen him throw a jab
Fair.
because his wrestling was that dominant up there.
Right.
I think this is an interesting fight with styles. I know Arion can wrestle. I've trained with Arion. I've
Yeah.
sparred with Arion. I know what he can do. And that was years ago. That was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gotten better, of course. This is a toss-up fight for me, honestly. I mean, do I think Arion should win? Yes. Do I think this is the toughest test Bashi's had? Absolutely.
100%.
I've seen the kids that he's fought.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from those guys that he fought, but I think they were handpicked for him at one point. You know, Bashi, like I said, is going to come in and he's going to be in shape. He's 20 years old.
Yeah, he's young.
You know,
And I don't think he's fought anybody with the man strength that Arion has.
No.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, because Arion hits like a truck.
And the fight IQ that Arion has.
Yeah, completely.
Arion is not a dumb fighter.
No.
By no means. He knows he's got a good skill set. He has a hometown advantage that's going to help a lot.
Completely.
And I just think Arion's got he's more seasoned than this kid. Now, do I think this kid could go places? Absolutely, I do. I think he's a tough kid that could do things. I just think it's going to take a while. I think he needs more fights to get to that level.
Well,
See, I think it's a great fight for Bashi.
Oh, it's a great
He's
fight
coming
for him.
in. He's really got nothing to lose because he's 20
No.
years old.
Right.
And
And he
lost
took-
now against somebody like Arion.
and the thing is
Does
that
not
nobody's
mess
talking
up.
about is he took the fight on 3 weeks now.
No,
Exactly.
yeah, I didn't
But-
think about
Yeah, you think about that too. But
Yeah.
the kid's coming in. He's in a no-lose situation. And he is going against somebody much more experienced. I'm going to say higher fighter IQ just because he has fought so much more at a higher level. And I think it's going to be a very interesting fight, like you said, Craig. But
Well-
I think the experience, I'm leaning that way on it.
Yeah, I'm leaning at Arion, but I mean, it's a fight. Anything can happen.
Absolutely.
I've seen the guy that's supposed to go out there and whoop everybody's ass and get smashed in 20 seconds.
Completely.
Talk about
Seen it.
Zach Freeman pulling off.
Oh, Zach Freeman
upset.
versus Aaron Pico in
Yeah.
Bellator. I mean, that was exactly what that
Again,
was.
Pico was young,
But-
coming in
but still-
against somebody, but that's exactly my point with Bashi coming in.
Completely.
It's easy to make that mistake that you get caught. Arion is beyond that point in my mind that he doesn't make that mistake or shouldn't.
Right. And then another one of our favorite regional promotions, Nemesis. Nemesis Fighting. You know, Craig, I know that you work for them every show. I've done some things with them also. They've got a
30th,
show
right?
coming up April 30th. The full card hasn't been announced yet, but I know that those guys always put on a crazy show. And the thing that I have noticed is that the regional promotion has really picked up in like the last 8 to 12 months. And so,
Thankfully.
absolutely. But do you guys think that this is what makes the growth of MMA happen? It's that grassroots show.
Yeah.
You know, you're going into the halls, the
We got
you know the ballrooms and all of that make those fights happen.
Let's go back 10, 12 years.
No,
To
you-
feed on that. Let's go back. You had Jenkins.
Well,
You
and
hit-
we're talking in St. Louis.
We're talking St. Louis, but when you're talking regional though. But if you look around St. Louis,
Well,
how many promotions did we have back then? Patrick Smith had his show.
Jenkins, you had
Jenkins
Bob
had
Barton, not Bob Barton, Bob
Blake,
Blake
Steve Smith and Blake
Yeah.
Fisher.
Well, Rumble
There were some
Time
shows
became
over in Alton.
a national
Marburger had
brand.
them in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, Rumble Time was a national boxing brand.
Absolutely.
They started putting on MMA
Well,
also.
think about look at Chad Mueller bringing in kickboxing
Yeah.
at the Renaissance, and then Ian Zarvos and
Yeah.
8 Count Promotions are bringing in doing a lot of kickboxing.
And-
I mean, that's the only way to grow the sport around here is if more promotions start opening up
Absolutely.
and bringing more fights in or fighters in, and not just being stuck on MMA. You know,
No.
I love
Well, that's
that-
what I love
love
about
that-
Ian Zarvos' shows.
Well, and Chad Mueller.
I'm
He's,
stoked
well-
about Mueller. He's got
Yeah.
it's in July,
yeah.
but you've got a 9-round Muay Thai fight.
And Drew Gigax-
Absolutely. And Drew
Drew
Gigax
Gigax
is there.
is-
That
I
man
don't
needs.
care if you've never seen him fight. You have to.
He needs to be on the national level. That man needs to be on the national
Trust me,
level
it's
2
been-
years
it's-
ago.
It's been said, and I think, yeah, things have
I've
been
said
talked
it on.
about.
I have said that on every national show that I have ever hosted.
That kid is good.
Oh,
And I
he's
tell you what,
beyond
the kid
good.
He's fighting. God, what's the kid's name now? He's fighting, is good.
Oh, absolutely. The kid's like 8-2 in
Yeah.
Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked though for all of the idea of the regional shows to be back.
No,
So-
I'm excited for these shows, these regional / local shows. It's nice to have many options as a fighter, as a fan, as a
Completely.
cut
Yeah.
man. You know, I mean,
Well, exactly. You know, I mean, I only commentate on 1 or 2 shows. You know
Right.
but I'm like you. You know, I work all over the country, and I love the idea of being able to do those shows.
Right.
I love it. All right, but we got to get back to, of course, the sport that Jim and I consider, you know, the mains, and that is boxing. So Tyson
Craig.
Fury taking on Dylan White. And Craig just left because it's boxing.
I'm kidding,
But that's
okay.
okay. No, here's the thing that I can't believe about this. Number one, they are talking 94,000 fans. 94,000 people in Wembley Stadium for one boxing
It's
show.
not the first time it's happened.
No, it's not. But here's the thing that gets me. Number one, they're not even sure that Dylan White is going to show up. He has not done any of the media for this fight that is supposed to have happened.
He's focused on training.
No, he's pissed about the money. I will tell you 100%. Tyson Fury stands to make $41 million on this fight. It's less than a quarter split to Dylan. And he goes, I may not show up. He goes, I'm not doing any of the media. Not going to happen. And so there is actually 2 backups just in case to make sure this fight happens. Here's the one that gets me, though. It is going to take 800,000 pay-per-view buys to break even.
There's a good chance with Fury fighting it's going to get sold.
Oh, I 100% think it'll get sold. But can you imagine 800,000 pay-per-view buys? And 94,000 people watching you fight in a 16-by-16 ring.
Can you imagine being top row trying to watch that fight?
can you imagine how much it is?
I'm-
How much that ticket is?
I'm sitting there thinking right now that I need a damn Jumbotron from
Oh.
Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Completely.
AT&T Stadium.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called.
Is that what it's called?
whatever it's called now, I don't pay attention.
It's where
to the
review
sponsors.
Jeremy's favorite WrestleMania was at.
But I mean, think
Don't
about
get
you
me into
need
the wrestling
that
thing.
50-yard wide screen when you're 94,000
Better bring
fans in
your-
there to see it.
Better bring your binoculars with
Just
you.
an FYI, a little more straight from the barrel there. Yeah. All right. Who takes it? Better yet, let's just go with,
Tyson Fury.
does Dylan White at 28-2, 19 knockouts, nobody knows who he is, for real, let's be honest. You ever heard his name, Craig?
I have no clue.
Exactly, Jim?
Yeah,
I have too, but he's a mid-level. Mid-level.
he's above mid-level.
He's-
He's got caught twice in his fights that he lost. Without getting caught in those, there's a chance that he would be ranked much higher.
I rolled my eyes at you.
I know
on
you
that
did.
one.
I watched you. But he's also somebody that what's interesting is he's a fighter that marches forward.
Fair, very fair.
Fury has the ability for being 300 pounds. He's not quite 300, but
He's a
Jesus,
big
he's a big
dude.
boy. he's got footwork that he can move left and right. If Fury doesn't move, he's got a chance of getting caught. Fury should take that fight because with him charging and Fury's movement, he should take it. But Dillian White's got the opportunity.
Fair.
So-
I mean, to shock the world and hopefully make a big payday on it. But
Get him at Sarah. I mean,
that very well could
Yeah.
be. It very well could be.
it happens.
All right. And finally this evening.
Here's the curveball.
I know it's what it is already too, probably.
Oh.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on.
Okay. All right. So you think
Wow.
you know what my gotcha's going to be tonight, huh?
I have a
Okay.
feeling.
Floyd Mayweather. No?
No, I thought you was going to ask about the Jake Paul testing positive for estrogen.
Okay. So number one, that was in a April Fool's joke.
Then why did it just come out today?
No, if you look at it, it was actually 3 days. It was back for 6
I
days.
just seen it.
No, I know, but yeah, it was an April Fool's joke. But it was funny as shit because estrogen is funny because that's not how it works. You actually come.
Well, he is a big nothing.
Well, he is.
Shut up.
So you have to do estrogen for a week cycle after your particular.
Yeah.
Why do you know so much about that?
No reason. So anyway, but you have to do that because if not, you grow man boobs, and it's just how it works. Okay,
See, I
next
thought
we
you
are
were gonna
moving
go
on
with Paul
to.
versus Patty for a UFC fight.
Hang on.
But let's
All right.
5 weight classes below him. Mine's
Floyd
about-
Mayweather is going to take an exhibition fight against Don Moore. Jim Range. Who's Don Moore?
I'm drawing a blank.
Craig.
No clue.
Exactly. So Don Moore is a guy who has fought in boxing, hasn't fought since 2016, literally never fought anyone with a winning record at all, yet they are going to fight, and Floyd Mayweather stands to make $27 million. Thoughts?
Boxing. They're going to make money.
The biggest one that I can tell you that I think is cool on this card is that Anderson Silva is boxing on it. And Anderson Silva will be taking on Bruno Machado. Anderson Silva boxing, he beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in Mexico.
I'll watch that just because I love Anderson Silva.
Absolutely.
Just because the guy's amazing.
He's a freaking legend.
But
I'll watch it. They have Bob pissed off at me and haunt me.
I mean, that's fair. That is very fair.
Because he hates Mayweather.
All right. Well, I know Bob hated Mayweather, and also the one that is going to close it out tonight that hates Mayweather is Logan Paul. So have you guys seen that Logan Paul, number one, bought a $5 million Pokemon card and has been wearing it around his neck, and number two is claiming that he was never paid by Floyd Mayweather for the fight? Do you believe it?
No.
I don't either. I think it's all hype. Floyd Mayweather actually came out this week and stated that it's how the game works. You don't get the pay-per-view money the next week. It's just not how it works. You have to get all of it in. It all comes through difference. Floyd actually said that he's still getting paid from 6 to 8, fights from 6 to 8 years ago because they pay in installments. And he said if the Paul brothers had any clue what the real business was like, they wouldn't be bitching about it in the media and they just shut up and take
It's like
their money.
buying an annuity.
Exactly. It pays over time. It's not a one check like it is
Right.
in MMA. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about another exhibition bout of Floyd Mayweather. I don't know, guys. It's been a great show, and I'm actually really impressed with your Boulevardier today. It
I
was
get
very
lucky
good.
every now and then.
Well, it's because you're Jimmy fucking Range. That's right. I said it. I can say one per show.
someone's drunk.
Not
I'm
yet,
just
but
going
we're
to say
gonna-
cheers, everybody. Great having everybody watching.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time right here at the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society.